I
Dude,
can't.
how's your day going
Sorry,
so
I think
far?
you guys. I'm just upset. You guys can't believe that's a real background in the back, man.
No, I was fooled
Hey
at
man,
first, straight straight
Look,
up.
bam, look. I just added my logo. I just added a logo in the back.
No
yes sir.
way. How do you do that? AI?
No,
Man,
bro.
put me on the beach in Cancun or something, man, will you?
They waves crashing.
I'll give props to my
Pablo,
the background.
I want to be respectful of your time, man. Because I know you're busy. Pablo was just on a meeting. We pulled him out of a meeting with this team.
Oh man.
So Pablo,
How big's your team?
Yeah, so in the office is three of us, four of us, but then
Awesome.
everything is subcontracted out, right? So we have different teams, framers, electricians, plumbers, everybody just building, right?
Yeah,
Different projects. So my task is always delegating and collaborating with everybody to make
very
things.
cool.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Nice.
Pablo, first things first, you want to give like a 30-second bio of yourself.
sure,
Age, name, anything like that.
sure, man. My name is Pablo Galarza. Nationality Ecuadorian. I was born in Ecuador. I lived in Ecuador for 9 years until 2005 with my grandparents. My parents migrated to this country to give me a better life. Um, since then, since 2005, I've been living here in the US. Became an entrepreneur. Worked with my dad. He had a construction business. Joined his business. Worked in New York City, managed over 50 employees. We started with 2 employees, eventually to 50 employees with my old boss. Eventually was like, you know what, I couldn't do this. Created my own construction business. Well, I joined my dad's construction business, created my own construction business, and meanwhile, I started my real estate company. And this is where I
Yes,
am
sir.
now.
That is
Yes, sir.
awesome.
How many doors are we at? How many doors are we at, Pablo? How many
We
doors you got?
are closer to 200 doors with partners. Yeah,
Come on.
Sir, almost 200 real estate units. How much is that portfolio value roughly?
close to 20 million.
Come on.
Close to 20 million. And how
Let's
old? How
go.
old are you? How old are you?
I'm 28 right now.
28.
That's
Wow.
what I'm talking about. So Pablo or
Congratulations,
Blake
man.
and I, we met Pablo at A to B Con in
Mm,
Stamford, Connecticut a couple weeks ago, which is why I always talk about the power of kind of going to those events because you never know exactly who you're going to meet or what you might do with them in the future. But Pablo, you want to run us through kind of that first property, maybe on the capital raise side, or maybe on like the deal scouting. I know you had some problems as well along the way, but if you want to talk to the community a little bit about that.
I mean, I could talk, I think that question could go to my very first deal, which was my two-family house, or, my first big deal, which we had to raise more capital. Which one would you want? Because I think both
Let's
have,
start with the small. Let's go with the small first. Just for anyone who's watching this who maybe has no money or a very small amount of money
mm.
that
Just
is
getting
just like
started.
looking, just getting started.
yes. So this was back in 2019 when I purchased my two-family house. So I was working in New York City, so I was able to have some income. A W-2 short for 2 years. I was working and making, I think at the point I was making about $70,000 per year. I was 23, I think it was 23, 22, something like that. And I was like, all right, I need to buy real estate. I need to, I had that mentality of let me do it. So at that point, I was overloading on Robert Kiyosaki, just learning from him,
Hey.
understanding, then also other YouTube videos, other people that were teaching you about real estate and doing the Bird method and all that. And
Mhm.
I always had a construction background because of my dad. So and I
Yeah.
was
Which
also
I saw you met him recently, right?
no, I met him in 2018. It was crazy. It's
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
It's crazy. I posted a picture, I think like 4 years afterwards.
Okay, gotcha. I was gonna, or maybe it's just pinned. Is it pinned on your
It
Instagram?
is paying. It is
Okay,
paying.
gotcha, gotcha.
Because
Oh,
it's
keep
crazy
going.
how
Yeah.
the law of attraction works. Because at that point was when I was working in New York City, I was kind of tired of working in there because my old boss just overpromised me on different things. Never, in the end, it is what it is. You learn, and I'm the person that I am because of all my experiences. So
Mm.
through that, I was just educating myself, self-educating, and I come out of a job site and I see this guy just walking by. I'm like, no, that's not him. I'm like, no way.
Hey, no way. Rich
So he
dad, poor dad.
yeah, he just I remember that morning watching a video of him with his like full shades and all that, like has like this glasses. I was like, that's him. So I started walking behind him like a creep dude, just like after him. Like I was like, should I say hi or should I not? Like, you just have like that fan growing over him.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
goes and crosses the street. I took too long. The light turns in red. I'm like, damn it. And I see him go into like this fancy ass store. I was like, all right, that's my chance. So I crossed the street. I'm standing outside the store. That was literally at the corner of the musical center. What's that called? Right by Rockefeller.
No clue.
I'm not familiar with the area.
Something with the Rockettes, whatever. So I'm outside there just waiting, looking at it. It was in the winter, and then he comes out. I was like, "Hey, Robert, is that you?" I don't know.
Robert,
He looked at me. He's like, "You should know." I was
you
like,
remember me?
and then like I started talking to him, and I don't know, my guts at that point. I was like, "Hey, listen, I was like, I learned so much from you. I'm like looking to do my
Yeah.
first deal, and that's right as I was about to buy my property. I was, I think, under contract. And it was just crazy because I've been studying him for the last 2 years
The
and how the law
timing,
of
bro.
attraction works, or
Absolutely.
it's crazy. Like, because I would go into the city, but never in that area of the city. And that day I went to that area in the city because we were managing a property in that area or renovating. And it was just crazy. I got to meet him. So then a few days later, closed on that deal. And I had asked him, I was like, hey, listen, would you be willing to partner on the deal with me? I just asked him to, oh, could I partner with you or can I work with you? And just immediately asked him to be a partner with me, which is, like I guess it's just crazy thinking on that at that
It's the
moment.
ask, the power ask, man.
And yeah, and then he's like, I like your drive. I like the way you're coming at me. He's like, I'm just a little bit old now. He's like, if I was, 10 years, 15 years back, he's like, I'll take you on the offer because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are, have that guts of just asking someone like me that's well recognized to partner on a deal because that shows a lot about
Yeah.
yourself.
Mhm.
And he's like, but at this point, he's like, honestly, I don't even do my own deals. He's like, I have people doing most of the stuff for me. And he's like, yeah, I'm buying, I oversee it, but it's not something that, deep in which you will learn from me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that was, which,
What,
he's at a different stage.
what were the terms on that first deal, if you don't mind? Like,
Yeah.
like how much did you have to put down? Purchase price? Did you have any like renovations, ARV, anything like that?
Yeah, man. So I know I'll give you as a pre-warming of that story. So that property, I bought it for 390. I
Okay.
was able to qualify for it, and I was like, I'm not going to this property. I'm not gonna renovate it. I'm just gonna do a quick clean up, this and that. Next thing you know, I ended up putting $180,000 of renovations, and
Oh,
Wow.
eventually sold it for 740. And
Wow.
made a good return on that. I think it was about 300,000, 200 something that we took out of it. Um, I bought that as an FHA, lived in the property for 2 years, 2.5 years later, sold the property for that 280,000, $250,000 of profit. And if you live in an FHA for 2 years and you don't
No
pay
taxes.
taxes on that. So I basically took out, $250,000
Yep.
cash and with no
nice.
tax
Yes, sir.
implications because followed all the regulations. So that was good. Now with the 180,000, I didn't have it. The deposit for that I think was 17,000. I didn't have it. I had none of that money.
Mm.
So once we started getting to the house, I was like, damn, like, all right, like we're taking this wall down. I was like, we need to take this whole thing. We ended up gutting the entire house, the entire thing. And then I asked my uncle for money. I asked different people for money. Then I had to bring a partner into the deal, which was my parents. I was like, hey, listen, can you help me build this? And at the same time, bring some capital in here. And all my checks I was getting from my W-2, I was literally just throwing in there. I was just surviving off credit cards, just throwing everything in there for good 6, 7 months. And during that time was COVID too. So because I
Oh,
closed
wow.
in 2019, but during the construction was during COVID. So we were just working during COVID in there. And although you couldn't go out, we went into the house, closed them doors, and just worked inside the house and made it happen. So that's how you see partnering and bringing people is it's everything. Yeah, maybe I was able to qualify with my W-2s and that, you're always gonna need people in there. For my family, for all my parents, for all different people to help me out. Even my friends were helping me clean the house and that. And I was able to appreciate this house and closely rack to $250,000 on that one property after selling that.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, man. So I think the biggest lesson is there, bring partners in, it will fast forward you into creating
100%.
wealth.
Helps minimize the time. What about helps you accelerate much quicker? Where did you go from there after that first deal? What did you do with the 250?
So after that deal, I kept educating myself. I was like, all right, I have this house. Well, I had the house, I kept the house 2 years. So during that, I didn't have immediately that 250. I'm in debt because of the house. Now I'm like, I put all this money in there and I'm here like I'm gonna refinance, I'm gonna do this and that. And I just didn't get to do that. And I was like, and because was a family issue with issues, there's always things that you grow, right? If this issue would have not happened, maybe I would not been where I am now. My dad got, very sick, which he's like, hey, listen, I need you to help me run the business. Went to my boss, I had 50 employees underneath me, which is hard to yank yourself away from something like that. And that's why maybe I would have stood in that business for a lot longer. But since family weighs heavier, I was like, all right, my dad needs my help. I'm gonna go there. My boss was like, I'll pay for a project manager for your dad's business and that don't leave. I left, started managing my dad's business, and I realized within 1 week, I was like, damn, I was like, the money I'm making here compares nothing to there with less stress. I was like, hell no, I'm not coming back to the business. At that point, my boss was like, listen, I still pay you. He's still paying me while I'm working the other business. I was like, nah, I'm good. At that point, he was giving me credit cards. I had a car, everything paid by my old company. But I was like, none of that's gonna buy me. Immediately told the guy, I was like,
Yeah.
listen, within that same month, I was like, I'm out. I'm running my dad's business. Although my dad was sick, he went through surgery and all that. He was home. I was running the business at that point, it was just a roofing company. And I was like, all right, while I was doing the roofing company, I started looking for other work, renovations, decks, grass, landscaping, everything I could find, whatever it was, just start bringing income because now I left the other business. And this is where my riskiest move was. I'm in debt because of the property, right? I'm not seeing the 250,000 profit yet. Yeah, it's rented, it's paying its bills. Maybe I'm making about $600 cash flow, but it wasn't enough to pass up what all the debt that I had gotten into. So now I quit my job as well. So now I don't have a W-2. I'm helping dad run the business. I'm running the business myself as well now, trying to start something, and I'm just getting jobs here and there. And then my biggest thing was like, all right, my boss comes and takes my car away. So now I don't have a car to move. I don't have a way to go to see my clients. And my dad was getting better, and he's like, let's go get a pickup. Let's go buy a car. I was like, yeah, I want a pickup. So I bought the most expensive pickup, dump me, right?
Rightfully
And
so.
and it was a dumb move. It was the best move I could have done. I bought
Yeah.
a $70,000 pickup where my monthly payments were $1,300 a month with no W-2, literally no projects, with debt. And why did I do that? Because that gave me the extra force to go ahead and like, hey, listen, I gotta work for this. There's no way out.
Yep.
Burn all bridges. I have this company truck now that I gotta pay for every month, $1,200. I was like, I gotta make sure I make money for that for myself. So I was like, I need to produce in this business, and
Yeah.
that was my driving factor. And
No
then
plan B.
yeah, and then how that helped was because most contractors, you see them coming to a job site in old pickups, beat up cars. Here, I'm pulling up,
Yeah.
26-year-old kid in a brand new pickup to the job sites. So the owners are like, "Oh wow, so you're doing good in your business." I'm like, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
and I'm just
Everything's going great. Look at
I'm
this
just
truck.
Drowning in debt. No.
yeah. And it helped big time. Although I was always good at communicating with people, talking and selling, and I always looked the best interest
Amazing.
of clients. So I'm like, hey, listen, this is the best thing you will do for your kitchens and that. And I always got the jobs, and I know the pickup helped big time because they're like, all right, wow, he's been doing this for a while. He has experience. All this that brought me credibility to myself, right? So me being well dressed, having a nice pickup, all that contribute to that. So I think burning all bridges and just crossing the road and going for it 100% is what you need in any business, anything that you do to get ahead. And then over the years, kept building, kept building. I started doing good in the business. I started going to now these Grant Cardone events, paying $1,000 here, $2,000 here. Next thing you know, I was over $100,000 paid in mentorships in there, and
Damn.
that's where I started learning about commercial real estate. I was like, wow, okay, this is all real estate pays different. Not all real estate pays the same. Single families pays one way, two families pay a different way, three families, four, and I'm like, all right, there you go. This is it. This is how I could scale because I'm always hungry for the biggest thing, the bigger thing. How can I grow? How can I scale? And how can I bring people with me? And that was it. So at that point, I had my uncle that was with me. He's like, listen, I want to jump with you in flip, so I want to jump with you in this. Like, I was like, listen, I think we're gonna slow down and educate ourselves more and jump into this in this asset class, which is long term. We're not gonna get as much cash flow, but long term wise, you building equity like crazy, and it's not taking your time away from you. So it's not all these assets run by themselves.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
learned to wait with my two family. I didn't get that money. I saw the money later on, 2.5 years later. I'm like, all right, what if I wait on a bigger property 4 years? Every 4 years, how's that gonna build me up, And so that's when I started going to multifamily, buying deals, going to all these events, paid for mentors. One of my real estate mentors paid him basically $20,000 to teach me all the multifamily things, and then to all these events, and that's how you start getting opportunities. That's when the 68 unit deal came into play. Listen, we need capital for this deal. You want to be a partner with us? Sure, let's go. Let's jump partner with them. Next thing you know, it's actually 2 days ago. I think we made a year with that property in Texas.
Right
Wow.
on.
Awesome.
So that was a year ago, and time just flies. And next thing you know, like
Yeah.
partner. And the main thing is partners. People have everything you ever need, right? So this deal, if I would have not gone to this mentorships, if I would not have gone and spent that money on that, I would have never found these other people, coming and wanting to partner. Now I could always partner with them for more deals. I could find deals and they could come with me on that. And then went to a growth con last year. Um, at that growth con, I met more people, and they came to me like, "Hey, listen, I know you're close to PA. We have this deal in PA. We need someone to be able to run the property, go and check for asset and do the asset management and raise capital with us." And that was, my biggest deal, which was $13.3 million. And at that one, I'm the main capex lead. I'm one of the asset managers, capex, and raise capital. So I have a big portion on the property, and it's a bigger property. So, and I'm getting tons of experience running through that. And then that deal gave me incredible amount of experience. Incredible amount of experience, such as I had issues with the capital raising. That was a bigger deal to raise capital. Now you gotta increase some skills and raising, we had to raise about 5 million and we were short. We were short, and it was literally 2 days before closing, and we are short about 1.5 million. I think 1.5 million, about $1 million to closing. And we're like, how the hell are we gonna get this money to close this deal? And the lady that found the deal said, hey, listen, I think the best way that we could do this deal is so good that we could pay people short term and still find money. Right. So then we offered everybody, listen, if you come in with if you give us if you let us borrow your money short term, for a month, 6 months, we will give you a 10% return on that money, or a 15% return on your money. Different people have different percentages. And come to be, it was a day before. She's like, listen, Pablo, can you just help me with 300,000? And I was like, damn, all right, let's do it. So I'm like trying to raise money. Boom. 5 hours later, I have 300,000. And I call her. She's like, listen, we have an issue. Two other investors backed out. We're down 500,000. Now we still got to raise an extra 500,000. Can you come in? It was literally at 1 in the morning. I was banging the phone, reaching people. It was crazy. And the next day we had to close. And one guy's like, I'll do it, but call me tomorrow. And this guy came with another 400,000. And the next day we're signing papers and getting things done. It was literally an hour before the closing that we were able to get that last wire.
Wow. Where did you meet those guys, if you don't mind me asking?
So one of the guy I met, I didn't meet him. I called one guy that referred me to that guy that gave
Network, baby. Come on.
Seriously, man. Seriously. I had no clue that was even like when I called this guy, And he's like, so what you got? He's just like serious as hell. Like I'm explaining to him what we're doing. Percentage return. He's like 10% for a month. I'm down.
Yeah. Why not, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then I realized like he does 10% for a whole year. I'm like, damn, like but at that point you don't have time to even think outside the box,
Yeah.
to negotiate that. But made it happen.
Got the
Signed.
deal done.
What's that?
If it got the deal done.
It got the deal done. It closed. And later on, I sat down to realize I'm like, damn, raised close to almost $1 million within 24 hours. Like that's crazy. Like sometimes you don't like I would have never thought I could do that. Right? I would have never
Yeah.
thought. Although we're raising 5 million for like 4 months, we couldn't do it. Yeah, I raised 1 million in one day.
Crazy.
Everything is possible. It's just how limited your
Yeah.
mindset is, right? Just at that
Question.
moment, you're pressured, you have everything on top of you, you're like, damn, like if we don't close this deal, we're gonna lose about $300,000 of earnest money. How the hell are we gonna close this deal? So then pressure comes in and you make it happen. Now I broke another, lid, which there's tons of lids to break, right? So it was a big, big, big learning lesson on that deal. And then as the deal went on, we had an issue. We told some partners, hey, listen, we'll give you the money in 1 month. We were not able to give them a month because it was still hard to get that all the $1 million raised within that month. We got the money raised, but it took 2 or 3 months to get that raised. So some partners came at us very mad, saying, hey, listen, you promised a month, this and that. And that's another learning lesson. You know, at that point we overpromised on that and we couldn't complete it, which is not good, right? But that was a big learning. I said, like, all right, if we're gonna get short-term capital, make sure you have a plan B on that. So if you're unable to achieve it within the month, what's plan B? So we need 3 or 4 more months to pay that back. What is that interest gonna be? Right? Because now you could be in risky terms where like a month passes and like, all right, you know what? Every month was at 10%. I want 10% for every
Yep.
month. That'll be
Mm.
killer. But with
Yeah.
the other investors, they were understandable. They're like, listen, I know we didn't talk plan B, was everything rushed, and to make this deal close, we'll do 2% every other month that you're behind that, which worked perfectly.
Yeah.
This one guy did want to ask for that percentage every single month, so until we had to talk. And in some relations were, tie strain, and that's how you learn. I guess that's how you learn through those mistakes. That always have plan B for anything that you do. Things are not
100%.
go exactly as you plan. They could go
On
close
paper.
months. It could be close, but things are always gonna business. There's always problems, right? And that's why it's a business. There's always problems to solve. So always have those solutions preset, plan A, plan B, all the way to Z, just in case things come down the line and fall.
100%.
Gotcha. Question. So most of the people that are going to be watching this are probably where you were when you were at your W-2, and you mentioned that your boss would do basically anything to keep you. What do you think that he saw in you? What do you think was like the number one thing that he was like, man, I will do anything to keep this guy?
I was a workaholic, bro. I was a
Yeah.
workaholic. I was able to tolerate a lot of stress. Imagine when we had 50
Mm.
employees, every employee had their own family issues and they had their work issues, right? And everyone is calling me day and night. We have 3 shifts, morning shifts, afternoon shifts, and night shifts. So my phone was ringing all day. I was always answering, always managing people, moving around. And I literally just didn't stop. I was a workaholic, didn't stop. I just wanted to succeed. I had that drive,
Mm.
but I was just working for a company that was not, there was really not too much growth. I was just going to be stuck there,
The
stagnant,
ceiling.
working. But he saw that in me. He's like, wow, doesn't get tired. He just works 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. He's there, doesn't give up and doesn't get stressed out for all these different issues. One night we had to show up at 5 in the morning because the night before I told the guys, we were, you might know this, Spicescape in New York City. It's a museum,
I don't
maybe not.
know.
West 54th wall. It's a museum that we built, and we were putting concrete on it. And I told the guys, make sure you guys foam the corners. They didn't listen. The concrete came down the elevator shafts because it was wet concrete, liquid concrete, down the elevator shafts. That cost us $300,000 that night.
Oh my gosh.
I left at 11 p.m. I was there the next day at 4 in the morning
Oh
with my
my.
boss at that point, and we had a big issue. We had to pay $300,000 there. It was $300,000 mistake, So me at that age, I was 21 years old. So when I started working in the company, I was 19 to 24, 23, 24 that I worked. I worked 4 years in that company, and one of those years was, and I had to manage that stress at 21 years old. It's a huge stress that you have on you, and he saw that. He saw I was able to manage people. He saw I was able to
Yeah.
manage stress and take problems easily and digest it. Because most people will freak
Yeah.
the hell out when
Which
they have that. So
which is why you're
So
able to raise $1 million and over $1 million in 24 hours.
yeah. So people are like, Pablo,
yeah,
you don't worry about anything. I'm like, I do, but I'm like, I'm calm about it.
Yeah.
I
We've
think
been through
digesting
storms.
issues, digesting issues, I think
Yeah,
is a huge thing. You gotta be able to
huge.
digest it calmly. There's a lot of people that the minimum thing happened, they're yelling, cursing you out, this and that. Like, all right, this happened.
Mm,
There's nothing we could do other than fix it.
yeah.
preach,
Yeah.
preach.
I, yeah, I think I had a buddy the other day ask, he goes like, how do you manage like stress? He goes, because it seems like you were always stressed and now you seem a little bit more cool. I was like, when you have so many situations you run into, it kind of just gets calloused over time. So
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, yeah.
Like, you sure it's not drinking? You sure it's not drinking?
well, a shot every morning will help. Yeah.
3 shots a day, keep the
There-
doctor away. No.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
There you
question,
go.
Pablo
Balances the
question.
nerves.
As far as today, I
No, I'm
know we
joking.
kind of talked off of here, but you've got 7 figures of equity now across a portfolio. Any kind of thing there, kind of getting to that point of just, is it just the asset appreciation? Did you fix a bunch of stuff up? Anything like that? And then where you're going current day to future.
Yeah, so with the first deal, I mean, there's always some fix-ups that you're gonna be doing. The 68 unit, basically siding, painting, all the units got painted on the outside, which appreciated the property. On each unit got renovated, some electrical fix-up, sheetrock, which appreciates the value of it. It increases the rent, increases the NOI at the end of the day, and increases the value of the property. So that is with that deal. The second deal, there was honestly not much that we had to do other than add a little dog park, add little grills on the outside, and just a quick cleanup. Nothing crazy, man. And that one, the main thing was just the idea of the property. It's student housing right in front of East Stroudsburg University. We changed it into multifamily, fully multifamily use. We're basically just bettering the numbers. Insurance for students is more expensive than for families, right? So if we're changing how we use the multifamily, how we use that building for multifamily instead of student housing, now our expenses for insurance
More net
decrease,
operating income. Yeah, more net
right?
operating.
And we have our rents increase as well, and utilities, the students didn't pay. We paid. So now all utilities are being paid by the tenants.
Yeah,
So
turn them in.
expenses are dropping, and our gross income is increasing. So our NOI is just going to be exploding because of that reason. So it was just more changing game plan than really more fix us. I mean, work-wise, fix us maybe $100,000 to $200,000 on $13.3 million, which is not much of a difference. But we changed toilets, stuff like that. But it's more the game plan that got changed that's creating that value in that, and the equity raised by all the investors and partners come together on that creates that equity on those deals.
CapEx, was that done with cash flow, or did you raise more money to fix everything up?
So on this deal, yes, it was some cash flow because we were supposed to raise that. As mentioned, we were tight on raising capital. On the first one, no, that was based on we raised that capital. On the second deal, yes, we had to do with cash flow and whatever we could because of the reason that we were so tight on money, acquired this deal that we had to do the short-term lending to be able to make this deal happen. Now we still had to get this capex going. We still had to keep the game plan going, or the deal will just go down, right? So we use some of the cash flow for that, some of the cash flow to pay the short-term investors, and then we have other investors coming in to as my partners to come in. So we had to be just very creative on money moving it around where we made the deal work at that moment. It wasn't the original plan. The original plan was to raise that the amount you need, put that for capex, pay and just pay for distribution. So we delayed distributions a month later. But the good thing with this is we leverage the property a lot more now because we came in with less capital
Yep.
and bought $13 million with $3 million. So now the investors, yeah, they're not getting cash flow for the first 2, 3 months, but their 2 million bought 13 million. And that
Yeah,
deal,
exactly.
it's already worth 17 million. So now that
Yes.
we put the game plan on,
Or
it's
5
20 million.
million.
So if you have 3
Exactly.
million, worth 20 million, I mean, you know, that property is doing really, really good, right?
Um, Final thing here. 30 million by 30 years old. That's your goal. That's how I
How
was
long?
introduced to you. So we
Yeah.
got about 2 years. How are we going from wherever we are, which I whatever that is, to
Yeah.
30? How are we doing that? We got 2 years or less.
Yeah, man. And you know, it's a big pill to swallow. And I remember that goal came when I was talking to Brandon at a growth con a year and a half ago, right? I'm like, all right, I got 3 full years, 3.5 years to achieve something at 30 years old. And I was like, what I learned from this conference was you got to think big. We always think the achievable, but not what we cannot achieve. So if we put a goal that we maybe think we cannot achieve, it will become achievable. So I was like, all right, I like how it sounds, and I think it's achievable. Hitting 30 million by 30 years old. I was like, I have 3.5 years. I know it's gonna start scaling quicker as the end approach 30
Yep.
years. It's gonna be slower in the beginning, so I'm gonna hustle towards it. What is gonna achieve me there? Be in the right vehicle. And that's also what caused me, because at that moment when I did that goal, I was still with my dad's company. Right now I have my own construction business, right? Where we're ranking probably 100,000 per month. But I'm like, all right, I have this business now. My goal right now is either this business, I either increase its operations and its NOI, sell the business. That was going to give me a few $1 million of income. Use that as a down payment for another real estate transaction. Maybe in that one, I come in with less partners or get more
Yep.
partners, depending on how big the
Mhm.
deal is. That's going to increase my net worth a lot, big time. The properties that we have now, and just acquire more properties and creating businesses. I think it's the fastest way to approach 30 million.
100%.
And it is something, to approach that net worth, it is something not easy to do, but I know is achievable. And if I were to fall short of that, I'd still be happy. Because maybe before that conference, maybe I would have been like, oh no, I want to just have $5 million. And now I'm like achieving 30 million. If I come short even halfway at 10 million, still twice as much as what I was gonna do before. Or if I achieve
Yeah.
Absolutely.
20 million, right? But I know 30 years old, it's gonna be a perfect timeline to do that. Because if I don't, I have my rest of my 30s to make sure I hit that while I'm still 30, right? So my goal is to achieve a lot more than 30 million, but that's my first milestone target, right?
Amazing,
Definitely one day I
sir.
want to hit that ability status, and that's a whole game plan that still gotta reverse engineer it and break it down. But that's the goal, that's one of my first milestones to hit as I keep climbing the ladder of that and bringing people around me. Because the only way to achieve that 30 million too, you gotta bring people around you. The more people you
100%.
help, the more people you grow your net worth, right? Sometimes if you think just on yourself, you're not gonna get there. There's no way you could get there yourself, right? We all gotta come together as a group and build yourself out there. Look what Grant is doing. He's creating small business all around him to bring him now to the 10 billion or 100 billion that he's trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Because he's
Mhm.
understood now. It's like, all right, before it was just me, my sales company, my marketing company. It's like, no, I gotta do health, I gotta do construction, I gotta do roofing, I gotta do restaurants, I gotta do all this stuff to increase that now. So it's easy. You can see what people are doing is you gotta collaborate with everybody, and all together, the money just works within.
Very
100%.
good.
$1,000,000%. Blake, any final notes just so we can cut
I
Pablo out of here? He's got a few more million to make in about
yeah.
a year and a half to do it.
And I
Quick
need all the help
question.
possible.
Quick
Yes, sir.
question.
Yes, sir.
Were you a good student?
Was I a good student?
Yeah.
Long pause.
I
Define
didn't
good
have
Cal and I
student.
were not. Cal
I
and I were
didn't I
not.
didn't have
I
the
wasn't.
I didn't have the best grades. I
Yeah.
was always a great person, never was, misbehaving in school, this and that, but I was never, the best student. I was maybe a C student, B student
Amazing.
type of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
nothing, like I was like the best class in
Yeah.
class, nothing like that. I did basically, and that's my crazy story too. Like when I first started, I didn't know, when I came to this country, I didn't know how to read or write, anything like that. Because when I was in Ecuador,
Amazing.
I was always just in the streets. And so my parents educated me and until 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, while kids, at that point they were going out, playing this and that. And all afternoon, all night until 1 in the morning, I was studying, literally just educating myself because I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to add. And here I was 9, 10 years old. So all of that came into the first years of my life, all the way until high school. My parents was like, listen, I'm gonna get a C next year because I was getting straight F's all my years. And the
Yeah.
professors passing me year plus year. When I got to, high school, I was like, no, I was like, listen, I gotta make something myself. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a C. And I got that C. And my mom at
Come
that
on.
point, it was hard for her to even believe. She's like, and she kind of didn't believe me. I was like, I'm gonna get a C next year. She's like, eh. I was like, all right. And then I like showing people wrong. So I was like, damn, got that C, then got that B, and became the vice president of the engineering club. Went to college. I was getting just straight B's. And it was doing good. I think I ended up with a 3.8 GPA,
Amazing.
something like that. Became the vice president of my college, but it was a gradual increase, and that showed me to like, all right, I could achieve this. I came from all three Fs to become the vice president of my college. I was like, all right, I could make things happen. And then
Yeah.
as you go in life, I guess anything that you do in the past, and you see that increase, you start getting more confident in yourself, right? So all those little
Yeah.
things added up. So
Yeah. The reason I ask is because I mean, huge reason why we're doing this is because we believe like schools are failing kids. And
yeah, no,
like
I think
if kids can get on here and learn from guys like you, I mean, and Colin and I to where we weren't good students, but we're still doing something. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So because when we're growing up, we're always told like, oh, you got to get the good grades, got to get the good grades to be successful. You got to go to college. And it's like,
yeah.
what?
No, you don't. It was school and college, I think helps for networking, right? I think it's if you go to school and
Yeah,
college, it's perfect. Yeah, network, connect with
absolutely.
all these
Colin
different
and I met in
people.
college.
And
Yep.
and so some people are like don't go to college. At first I was like, no, don't go to college. And I started rethinking. I was like, no, yeah, go to college. While you're in college, still be maybe building a side business, networking with people, because you still learn a
Absolutely.
lot. You still learn a lot. It's just not something that's gonna, if you just go to college and you just become a W-2 worker. And if that's what you want to do, great. We
Mm.
need doctors. We need all these different
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
within our, within the country. But if you have that high achieving goals, then yeah, maybe still go to college, create that relationship with all these people,
For sure.
right? And you still could create friendships through there, but use that to build your business and grow on that
Mm.
side. Because I agree. I think the way school teaches you doesn't teach you, the financial independence, doesn't teach you,
Right.
self-growth and confidence of yourself. I think it should teach you to do one task or certain things depending
Yeah.
on what you choose, right? So you're stuck on a
Yeah.
narrow lane on that.
No,
Yes,
that's
sir.
awesome, man. Thank you so much for all your time and knowledge.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys
Your
bringing me
story is
here.
incredible.
It means a lot.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And we're gonna see you soon. We're gonna see you
Hell yeah.
soon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, sir.
definitely.
We better see you in September in Missouri, September 8th.
Missouri, yeah.
1%
We're at
event.
a
Let's
1%
go.
Let's do
event,
it.
man.
September,
Gotta see
September's
it.
my September's my birthday, man.
Yeah,
What
same here,
day?
man. All
All
three
of
of us.
ours
All
is
three
we
of
gotta
us.
celebrate our birthdays.
We're all
Yeah.
Virgos. September 8th is my dad's birthday, so that might be a little tough. September
Okay.
Oh, that's
12th is my birthday. When's your birthday?
23rd.
23rd.
13th.
Yours? 13th. Oh
13th.
shit, the 13th. A day after
Exactly.
mine.
Yeah, look, man. We I don't know, man. I don't know. Brandon should be there. Dylan, a lot of guys from that area,
There's
man.
gonna be like
Yeah,
9
man.
people from A to B going to Missouri. I think I
At
counted.
least. At
Yeah.
least.
No, that's awesome. And no, all right, that's definitely a big consideration. Or
Bring the
or
dad. Bring the dad.
Yeah,
there you
bring your
go, there you go. I think that the only thing that's really like there is my dad right now. I'm like, damn, like all right. Or if I pre-celebrate him earlier, then like, I gotta check what
Exactly.
day.
I thought, Dad, I got you a birthday present. We're going to Missouri. We are gonna see the flyover state.
No, that's awesome, man. No, I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it, guys. Yeah, I love your
No,
background,
we
man. That's
appreciate you
cool. Is
coming
that a
on.
real background?
Yeah.
What is
This
this?
this is my brother right here. We just make comedic content. Mullet Bros _co. We make a lot of like dark humor jokes and stuff like that. We just hit like 300,000 followers, so just trying to keep
Really? That's
growing that
huge.
and
That's
everything.
awesome.
So
Congrats.
thank you, man. Thank
Awesome.
you. Yeah, check it
Mine's
out if
real
you need a
too.
laugh.
Mine's real too.
But
Oh, nah, man. I think yours is not. Yours is too cool to be real, man.
yeah, think I saw
That's awesome.
I think I saw a glitch in his hand earlier.
No. turned green for a minute.
Yeah.
Pablo, we will see you soon, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
Thanks
you,
for
man.
doing this with us.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Blake.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I blow soon, soon. Know as a child back in the womb. Oh.